Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to make a disappearing 9-patch quilt block, which is a self-paced learning experience using the ADDIE model. Baby New Year, or BNY, is a charity organization based in Dallas, Texas. They provide layettes for underprivileged babies born at the Dallas County Hospital. These layettes include items such as pajamas, washcloths and soap, an outfit, and a warm blanket or quilt. Mary Bird, BNY founder, asks for volunteers around the community to help sew these quilts for the layettes. Southern Methodist University libraries would like to start supporting this charity. Sewing days will be offered at the library for patrons who wish to participate. For those looking for a quick and easy project to sew, I have created a tutorial for the disappearing 9-patch quilt block baby quilt. Sewers can watch this video and create the quilts on their own, or watch it before the sewing day to have an idea of what they will be doing. The instructional design model used is ADDIE, which stands for Analysis, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. Many SMU patrons have already expressed an interest in contributing a handmade baby quilt to BNY, but follow up with the statements of, "But I don't know how to quilt," or "But I don't have the time." These statements are proof of the need for an instructional session to show these individuals a quick and easy way to complete a baby quilt that can be donated to BNY. The goal here is that after watching the tutorial, the patrons will have the information and confidence necessary to complete a quilt. For this session, I chose to do a video using photographs from the actual process of creating the quilts with audio narration to walk users through each step of the process. My plan for this instruction included a blueprint for the format of the tutorial, website design, materials gathered for the making of the baby quilt used in the tutorial, plus the creation of the tutorial itself. After the analysis, specific learning objectives were mapped out and plans to utilize a video based within a web page was determined. Content was developed and the video was created. This content was then transferred to a web page for access by anyone who wishes to learn how to make a disappearing 9-patch quilt block baby quilt. Upon completion, interested patrons will be guided to the website and encouraged to watch the video presentation. The tutorial will be marketed heavily prior to a university library-sponsored Baby New Year Sewing Day. Those who have been directed to the tutorial will be asked for feedback by SMU library personnel during the sewing day. They will be asked if there are any parts that need clarification and if the detail included in the instruction was adequate. Less formal evaluation will include the library's faculty and staff observing sewers during the sewing day, how many questions are asked that could have been better addressed in the video, are quilts completed in the estimated time frame, and what is the quality of the finished product. The learning objectives here are in ABCD format, which stand for audience, behavior, conditions, and degree. For audience, we have amateur to experienced sewers. For behavior, complete a disappearing 9-patch quilt block. For conditions, upon acquisition of fabric. And for degree, 4 hours or less. Note, upon acquisition of the required fabric, amateur to experienced sewers should be able to complete a disappearing 9-patch quilt block in 4 hours or less. The materials needed per sewer include 1 set of charms, 1 yard of fabric for back of quilt, 1 yard of batting, a half a yard of binding, 1 pair of scissors, 1 ruler, 1 rotary cutter with self-healing mat, 1 seam ripper, 1 sewing machine, several sewing machine needles, 1 box of straight pins, 2 spools of coordinating thread, a 1/4 inch quilting foot, darning or walking foot, 1 iron, and 1 ironing board. Because of the nature of this project, the target audience will be assumed to be predominantly female. The instruction will be based on the audience having some knowledge of sewing. The disappearing 9-patch quilt block pattern will be taught in depth. However, tools, sewing terms, and the work of the sewing machine will not be covered. Those who do not have basic sewing knowledge can receive additional help and instruction during the in-house sewing day. Therefore, I will state my target audience as amateur to experienced sewers, excluding novice sewers, defined as those who have never sewn before. After implementation of this tutorial, a beginner's guide to sewing tutorial could be added to the website to assist those who need additional help with the tools, terms, work, etc. For this particular instruction, I will use multiple layers of assessment. These include interviewing, observation, and portfolio. Notes will be taken from all assessment methods, compiled, and necessary adjustments made to the tutorial or website. It could be that the tutorial is effective, but a list of reminders or suggestions added to the site would be beneficial. For those patrons who complete the tutorial and project on their own, an informal interview will be conducted. They will be asked about their overall satisfaction with the tutorial, if it was clear enough, contained enough detail, and if there were any points that required further clarification. They will also be asked what problems they ran into during construction and what could have been added to the tutorial to help avoid these mistakes. For those that are attending a SMU Libraries sponsored sewing day, participants will be observed during the course of the program. Are attendees able to get started on their own? Do they understand the layout of the quilt and how to assemble the pieces? What questions are being asked that might need to be addressed in an update of the tutorial? Though calling it a portfolio, is a bit of a stretch, examination of the finished product will be used to assess the quality of the instruction. Is the quilt the right size and shape? Is it constructed correctly? Is directional fabric all going in the right direction, etc.?